This is the story of a man who refused to bow down, a man who didn't wait for freedom to be given. He fought for it. A man who made a thunderous promise: give me blood, and I will give you freedom. This is the story of Dr. Subhas Chandra Bose, the forgotten hero of India's independence, a leader who shook the very foundation of the British Empire, a warrior, a visionary, a man of fire. Subhas Chandra Bose was born on January 23, 1897, in Cuttack in the state of Odisha. His family was well respected. His father was a successful lawyer, and his mother was a kind and spiritual woman. From a young age, Subhas was different. He was not just brilliant in studies, he was also deeply emotional and patriotic. He felt the pain of India's slavery even as a child. He was disturbed by the poverty he saw. He couldn't accept the idea that his own country was ruled by foreigners. While most children his age played games and read fairy tales, Subhas read about Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and the ancient heroes of India. These ideas shaped his soul. In school, he was quiet but intense. Teachers were amazed by his memory, discipline, and sense of justice. Once, when a British professor insulted Indian students, Subhas protested strongly, even if it meant punishment. He believed that self-respect was non-negotiable. He later studied at the Presidency College in Kolkata and then went to Cambridge in England to prepare for the Indian civil services. His father wanted him to become a high-ranking officer under the British Raj, but Subhas had different dreams. Even after clearing the prestigious ICS exam, he refused to serve the British. He wrote a letter saying, "It is not possible for me to serve under a foreign government which is ruling my country." It was a bold decision, a rare one. He gave up comfort, power, and money for the dream of India's freedom. He returned to India and joined the Indian National Congress. Quickly, people noticed his energy, intelligence, and leadership. He became close to leaders like Deshbandhu Chittaranjan Das, who mentored him. Subhas took up causes that touched common people: youth, laborers, students. He believed in action, in standing up, in fighting for justice. He became the mayor of Kolkata, then the president of the Indian National Congress, not once but twice. But not everyone in the Congress agreed with his ideas. Subhas Bose believed in complete and immediate independence, not slow talks, not negotiations. He respected Mahatma Gandhi, but had a different path. Gandhi believed in nonviolence. Bose respected it, but he also believed that when injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. He wanted to take help from international powers to free India by force if needed. That idea made many in Congress uncomfortable. Eventually, this difference became too big. Subhas resigned from Congress and started his own political movement, the Forward Bloc. But the British were watching. They arrested him many times. They tried to silence him, but Bose was unstoppable. He escaped from house arrest in disguise, dressed as a Pathan with a long beard and turban, and disappeared from British hands. This escape was not just dramatic, it was historic. He traveled through Afghanistan, then to the Soviet Union, and finally reached Germany during World War II. His aim? To seek help from enemies of Britain to fight for India's freedom. In Germany, he met Hitler. He tried to convince the Nazis to support India's independence. There, he formed the Indian Legion, made up of Indian prisoners of war captured by the Germans. But he wasn't fully satisfied, so he made his next big move. He went to Japan, which had already captured many parts of Southeast Asia. There, he found thousands of Indian soldiers who had been captured by the Japanese from the British Indian Army. He spoke to them. He told them, "You have not come here to be prisoners. You have come here to become warriors, to free your motherland." That's when he formed the Indian National Army, the INA. It was made of brave Indians who believed in him. It was not just an army, it was a revolution. For the first time, India had its own independent military force, with its own flag, own government, and a burning desire to fight. And they did fight. Delhi Chalo became their war cry. The INA marched through Burma, entered northeast India, and hoisted the Indian flag in parts of Manipur and Nagaland. It was a symbol, a signal. The fire of freedom was burning on Indian soil. Subhas Bose had also formed the Azad Hind Government, a free Indian government in exile. It had ministries, departments, a treasury, even its own currency. Countries like Japan, Germany, Italy, and others recognized it. For the first time, the world was told, India is not just a colony, it is a nation with its own voice. But the road was not easy. The INA faced harsh weather, lack of supplies, and fierce attacks from the British and Allied forces. Slowly, they were pushed back. The war turned. Japan started losing. The INA soldiers were captured, but their spirit was not broken. In 1945, Bose was in Taiwan planning his next steps. But then came the news that changed everything. A plane crash, flames, smoke, and the announcement that Subhas Chandra Bose had died in the crash. India was stunned. People could not believe it. Some still don't. For years, there were rumors, hopes, theories that he survived, that he went into hiding, that he would come back. Because heroes like him are too big to disappear. But even if he died that day, his legacy didn't, his dream didn't, his fire didn't. The INA trials that followed shook the British Empire. People in India were outraged. Protests erupted. Soldiers in the British Indian Army began to question their loyalty. The British realized that their control over India was slipping. Some historians believe that the actions of Subhas Bose and the INA created such unrest that it pushed the British to leave India faster. And if that's true, then his fight, his sacrifice, his vision played a key role in winning India's freedom. Subhas Chandra Bose was not just a soldier. He was a leader of unmatched courage, a man who believed that India deserved nothing less than complete independence. A man who risked everything, his career, his comfort, even his life, to give his motherland its rightful place in the world. He was deeply spiritual, yet fiercely modern. He respected Gandhi, but walked his own path. He worked with Hitler and Japan, but only to serve one cause, India's freedom. His decisions were bold, sometimes controversial, but always made with one goal in mind, to see India free and proud. He had no fear, no hesitation, no compromise. He once said, "Freedom is not given, it is taken." And he tried to take it with every ounce of his strength. Children today may not know all the details of his life, but they know his name. They know he was brave. They know he loved India more than his own life. They know he was called Netaji, respected leader, a name given to him by the people. His story is not just about war. It's about identity, about self-respect, about daring to dream even when the whole world doubts you, about standing tall even when the ground shakes beneath you. Netaji's message still rings true. Stand for your country, stand for justice, never bow your head to tyranny, and never be afraid to speak your truth. He taught us that love for the nation is not a feeling, it's an action. It's sacrifice, it's courage, it's service, not once, not twice, but for a lifetime. His picture may not be on currency notes, his birthday may not be a national holiday, but in the hearts of those who love freedom, his spirit burns bright, unshaken, unforgotten, and undefeated. Subhas Chandra Bose may have left this world, but he never left India. He is in the fire of every patriot, in the heart of every soldier, in the dream of every child who believes in a strong, independent India. His story is not over. It lives in us. Even after his disappearance, Subhas Chandra Bose continued to live in the hearts of people like a silent storm. In the villages of Bengal, in the battlefields of Burma, in the quiet prayers of mothers, his name was whispered with pride and pain. Because when a man gives everything he has for the freedom of others, he becomes something more than just a leader. He becomes a legend. For many Indians, he was not just a leader. He was their last hope, their roaring voice, their unbreakable strength. There was something in his eyes that made people follow him, something in his voice that made others believe, and something in his silence that inspired millions to rise. Netaji did not live for fame. He did not fight for awards. He fought for something much deeper, for the soul of India, for her dignity, for her right to stand on her own feet. He believed India was not just a piece of land under British rule. It was a mother in chains, and he could not sleep while she suffered. Even as the British tried to portray him as a rebel or an extremist, people knew better. To them, he was the man who dared when others hesitated, who acted when others only spoke, who chose a stormy path instead of a comfortable one. Subhas Chandra Bose was not interested in slow freedom. He wanted total and immediate independence. He didn't want India to beg for liberty. He wanted her to demand it, like a lion demands respect, not like a slave asking for mercy. That's why he said, "It is blood alone that can pay the price of freedom." These words were not meant to scare. They were meant to awaken. to shake people out of silence, to light a fire in their hearts, and it worked. His army, the INA, gave courage to ordinary Indians. They proved that Indians could fight, lead, and win, that they didn't need British officers to command them, that freedom was worth every risk. Even after the INA was defeated, its spirit refused to die. When the British captured INA soldiers and decided to put them on trial, thinking they could crush their will, something unexpected happened. People across India, Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, all rose in protest. They saw these men not as rebels, but as heroes, as brothers, as sons of India. Students left their schools, workers left their factories, soldiers in the British Indian Army started questioning their orders. The British realized something dangerous. Loyalty was breaking. The fear they had created for centuries was falling apart. And in the middle of all this was the name, Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose. He had done something extraordinary. He had united people not with speeches, but with sacrifice. Not with politics, but with purpose. And that is why even today, his name sparks a different kind of energy. His love for India was like a river, deep, unstoppable, and pure. He never let anything come before it. Not politics, not power, not comfort. He left his home, his position, his country. He crossed dangerous borders. He risked his life every single day just to see the Indian flag fly free. And he never once said, "I have done enough." Because for him, freedom was not a gift, it was a sacred duty. He believed in discipline, in sacrifice, in courage. But he also believed in equality. In the INA, everyone was treated equally, regardless of caste, religion, or language. In fact, he created an all-women's regiment called the Rani of Jhansi Regiment, one of the first of its kind in modern military history. Women were trained to fight, to lead, to protect. Because to Netaji, every Indian was a warrior. He gave people more than orders. He gave them belief. He showed them that a free India was not a dream. It was a goal, a future waiting to be claimed. His vision of India was bold and bright. He saw India not just as free from the British, but free from fear, from poverty, from division. He wanted India to be powerful in science, in education, in military, in industry. He dreamed of a modern nation that could stand tall in the world, proud and united. And yet he was deeply spiritual. He believed in karma, in the soul's purpose, in dharma. He believed that fighting for the country was not just politics, it was a sacred mission. He had read the Bhagavad Gita as a young man. Its message stayed in his heart. Like Arjuna on the battlefield, Bose saw his fight as righteous. Painful, yes, but necessary. He said, one individual may die for an idea, but that idea will, after his death, incarnate itself in 1,000 lives. And that is what happened. After he was gone, the idea of Bose, the fire, the courage, the rebellion, kept burning. It spread in books, in songs, in stories, in whispers of hope. His portraits were secretly worshipped. His words became slogans. His life became a lesson of what it means to truly live for something greater than yourself. Generations passed, but questions remained. Did he really die in that crash? Was it an accident or a cover-up? Could such a strong, fearless man disappear so suddenly? Investigations were held, reports written, witnesses interviewed. But no answer could satisfy the hearts that refused to let go. Because maybe some people become so legendary that we can never accept their end. And perhaps in some way, Netaji never really left. Because every time an Indian stands for justice, speaks the truth, helps the weak, or loves the motherland, he returns. His statues now stand across India. Streets and stadiums bear his name. His birthday is remembered with pride. But his real tribute does not lie in stone or ceremony. It lies in how we live, with courage, with discipline, with purpose. Subhas Chandra Bose showed us what it means to give all for the motherland. Not just words, but action. Not just love, but life. He showed us that freedom is not the end, it's the beginning of responsibility. He taught us that real revolution starts in the heart, with self-respect, with belief, with unshakable will. He made mistakes, he took risks, he walked alone, but he never stopped. And that's what made him unforgettable. If you ask a soldier today, who is your hero? Many will say Netaji. If you ask a student who inspired you to love India, many will say Subhas Chandra Bose. Because his life speaks louder than words. It speaks of bravery without arrogance, passion without ego, love without limits. And so when you hear the cry, Netaji Amar Rahe, understand it's not just a slogan, it's a promise. a promise to carry forward his dream, to build the India he dreamed of, free, fearless, fair. He was not just a chapter in history. He was a spark, a force, a thunderstorm wrapped in silence. And though he may be gone, the path he cleared still shines, waiting for brave hearts to walk it. Subhas Chandra Bose once said, "No real change in history has ever been achieved by discussions." He believed in action, and today it is our action that must honor him. Speak the truth, work hard, respect the nation, be fearless, stand tall. That is how we salute him, not with flowers but with fire. Because India did not become free because people begged for it. It became free because people like Netaji Bose demanded it, fought for it, died for it. And now it's our turn to protect that freedom. With responsibility, unity, and love, let his words echo through every home. Tumujhe kundo, maintum azadi dunga. Give me your dedication, and I will give you a better tomorrow. Let us not just remember Netaji. Let us become the kind of citizens he dreamed of. Brave, honest, united, proud. Because the best way to honor a hero is to carry forward his dream. And that dream is India. Jai Hind.